2 years ago, my husband and I came back to his hometown after years abroad. We were ambitious, we'd started our own little business, but while it was growing, money was tight. So, we both took jobs as a server and bartender at a historic inn, the kind of old, beautiful building that looked straight out of a postcard. Our bosses were an elderly couple, and from day one, something felt off. She, the wife, was in charge. Or rather, she thought she was. She strutted around like a queen ruling her crumbling castle. She was the kind of person who'd complain about how you folded a napkin while her restaurant bled money. Still, the hours were good, the staff was unreliable, and somehow, we were the only sober, reliable adults in the room. Within weeks, we became the unofficial managers, fixing problems, smoothing over disasters, making guests happy. And it worked. People started noticing us, the guests, the vendors, even the locals who'd sworn off the place years ago. So we thought, maybe we could actually make this work. After 6 months, we made the couple an offer. We'd run the entire inn for a year. We'd take a small salary, barely enough to live on, but we wanted a big performance bonus at the end, based on how much we could increase profits. They agreed. That was the day we made the biggest mistake of our lives, thinking they would ever keep their word. We hit the ground running. My husband handled the books and logistics, I took charge of staff and events. Within 2 months, the profits had already quadrupled. We cleaned up the operations, retrained staff, fixed the menu, and actually marketed the place. We were making them a fortune. But the owners, especially her, couldn't stand not being in control. She micromanaged everything. We'd wake up to a dozen sticky notes on our door, "Don't wash flat and fitted sheets together." "Why did you use the blue pens for the guest book?" It was constant. And because we lived on site, we were never off the clock. Guests would call at 2 or 3 a.m. The phones never stopped ringing. We worked 80-hour weeks, ate at our desks, and still somehow smiled for the guests. All the while, that woman, the bulldog-faced tyrant, criticized everything we did. Months passed. We'd transformed their business from a failing dump into one of the most successful inns in the area. But we were exhausted. We'd been promised the owner's suite once we proved ourselves. Never happened. We were still living out of a cramped hotel room. We were promised freedom to manage. Instead, every decision had to go through her, even the color of table linens. Every night, as I fell asleep next to my husband, I could feel his frustration pulsing. We'd turned this place around, and they still treated us like help. Then came the whisper that broke me. I overheard her saying to a guest, "Oh, those two? They don't work that hard. We practically run the place ourselves." That was it. We'd given her everything. Our time. Our health. Our sanity. And now she was stealing the credit. When our 1-year contract came close to ending, we made a decision, we were done. We told them we wouldn't renew. They looked stunned, like they'd just lost their puppets. We even offered to train new management, build them a full operations manual, and ensure a smooth handover. We wanted to leave things right. But soon, we heard the whispers again. The old witch was telling people we were lazy. That she couldn't believe she'd paid us so much for so little work. She didn't realize how hard we'd been pushing, how much of our own lives we'd sacrificed. So we walked away. With a fat check in hand, our heads held high, and a little secret they didn't know. We'd already bought a house 5 hours away. And we'd never be coming back. Before leaving, I made sure everything was perfectly organized, every procedure, event, and contact laid out in detail. I even trained the remaining staff on how to handle the new systems. But she didn't care. The day we left, she told the staff, "Now things will run my way again." Her way meant disaster. She started calling booked events and demanding more money after contracts were signed. She cut overtime pay, which is illegal, by the way, and started berating employees in front of guests. She even bragged about how she was going to tighten the reins. What she didn't realize was that every single one of those employees, they were loyal to us. Not her. First, the new chef quit barely a month after we left. Then, the servers. One by one. The cleaning staff, the same team that had been there for years, quit together in a single day. 45 rooms. No staff. The owners, both in their 70s, had to scrub toilets and make beds themselves in the middle of high season. She tried hiring new people, but word had spread fast. No one wanted to work for her. They went through 3 chefs in 10 months. Reviews plummeted. Locals stopped coming. The once bustling restaurant was empty again. Every now and then, my husband's parents, who still live in town, tell us what they hear. People still ask about us, saying, "We can't believe you two managed to make that place work for as long as you did." We just smile. We don't gloat. We don't need to. Because sometimes, the best revenge is knowing you left behind something so strong that the wrong people could never keep it standing. They called us lazy. They mocked how much we made. But now, they're cleaning their own rooms, begging for staff, and praying for good reviews. The very empire we built, the one they took for granted, crumbled the moment we walked out the door. Pause, soft smile in voice. We didn't destroy them. They did that all on their own. We just gave karma a little nudge. You know, revenge doesn't always need fire or fury. Sometimes, the sweetest justice comes quietly when the people who mistreated you finally see the truth and realize they were the problem all along. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the worst boss you've ever had? And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of karma, justice, and the revenge they never saw coming.